Alright, a couple of years ago I had made a video on wiring a baseboard heater up. The main thing I was just showing is how to pretty much wire it up. And I did show all the other stuff that I was doing. I guess I didn't do it that well because I got a lot of complaints on that I didn't show it what I was doing, or I didn't explain it that well. And I'm going to try to attempt it again, even though this is going to be very hard. Because this is a 240 baseboard heater, so there's two hot wires going to be coming in. So I'm going to be using a black and a red wire, and that's pretty much all you're hooking up. So I mean, it's really not complicated at all to do. So I mean, I'm just going to try it again. So I already took it out of the box. This is a Cadet 240 baseboard heater, and all it came with is the actual heater itself. So just check that thing out. And it came with a manual. So I have some wire nuts that I'm going to use. You're going to use probably at least 2 screws to mount it to the wall. I'm going to go ahead and show that. And then you have to get a thermostat. So I'm going to try to also talk about other ways to do this. I am going to use this thermostat and put it directly onto the heater. I like my heaters to have all their own thermostat, because if you wire them all together, I mean, you're heating the whole house. And for me, I like to just have 1 or 2 on, and I'll actually heat the whole house with those 1 to 2 heaters. And hopefully it'll keep the bills down then if you have all of your heaters on. Plus, if you're not using a room, it's nice to have that room turned off. So I try to keep them all on there. But if you did have it this way, you just have the heater mounted here, and wherever you want your thermostat to be, you would have to run those wires from this all the way to wherever your thermostat is going to be. So that can get a little harder if you're going to be putting it in a house that already has the drywall up. All that stuff is much easier when you don't have the drywall up. Otherwise, that's going to end up being quite a bit of work. And I had a lot of questions on how to do the wiring. So once I'm done at the end of this video, I'll talk a little bit about that and show you some different options that you could probably use if you're trying to hook up a baseboard heater. But right now I'm just going to go ahead and install this and kind of show you guys what I'm doing. First thing you guys want to do is take off your little plate. And these baseboard heaters can be mounted on either end, or thermostat can be put on either end, or the wiring can run to it. And the next thing you want to do is pop one of these things off the back. Connector, wiring connector. It's going to be easier to tighten that up from the outside, so I'm going to put it this way. Some little issues with these little, there we go, I got that. You want to use these as if there's anything that's like, if the wires rub up against there, it'll cut the little protective coating plastic on there. And that wouldn't be good. Wires through that connector. You can see it come out on our side when it just feeds through. And then I'm just gonna screw those screws down. I know you guys can't see this, but those little screws on it, I'm just taking the screwdriver and I'm screwing it down. The next step I'm going to do is just mount it. So you're going to have to find studs. I know there's one here, there's a boxes here, and then I also know there's going to be a stud here, and the next one is going to be way over there. So I'm going to probably just mount them to do these two studs. And I'm going to go ahead and take you guys off of there, because there's some mounting things. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and grab another one just because it's going to be easier for me to show you guys. Alright, I'm back. If you look in here, you can see these little things. Those are where you're going to force your screw through when you're mounting it to the wall. So they got them all the way across here. See them on the back as well. And that's where you want to line up and get that to line up with your stud and force a screw through there. Now everyone says that you're supposed to put this on the ground like that. Totally true. However, I mount mine on top of the baseboard heater. Really, no reason for it. That's how I do it. So. Yeah, I think I need to go ahead and put that in the bottom hole. So I'm going to go ahead and change that. Alright, for the instructions, I'm hooking mine up to a double pole. So right here's how I'm going to be following it. You can see I'm doing it on the right side. So I'm going to have 4 wires inside the baseboard heater of blacks. If you do it on the other side, there's just 2. So if you do it on the left or the right side, it's a little easier. But I'll be doing mine on the left side. But if you're doing it on here, there's only 1 group of wires that you're going to cut over there. On this side, it's the same 2 wires, you just don't use that one. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of show you guys. I might bring you in closer. I already cut off this, but it was hooked up right here. I already cut those. Let's bring you in closer. So the instructions are showing that one that has the top and the bottom, which is right here. Do not cut that. So we're going to put it over here and we're not even going to use that. And I already cut these 2 wires and I stripped the wire plastic coating off. So now we're going to take the thermostat and it's showing our B right here, so which is going to be a red wire. The red wire on the top is going to go to one of our hot wires. Again, the 2 hots are all the same. So it doesn't matter which one you hook up. I'm going to hook up that top one to my hot, that's a red, which again, it doesn't matter. You can hook it up to either one because they're both hots. And then it's showing the other red is going to go to the other hot. So I'm going to hook it up to the black. Again, it doesn't matter again, if you're not using the 3 wiring, let's say you only have a black and a white, your white's going to be a hot too. So you're just going to use either one of those, and again, it doesn't matter. You just got to make sure that you're going to be using that as a hot. I don't like doing it without using the 3 thing because I don't like a white going into a hot in my panels, mainly because you never know, later on someone might get in there and not know that that white wire is supposed to be a hot, or they might hook up that white wire when it's a neutral and mess some stuff up for your electric. So I try to keep it color coded. I'm going to go ahead and put a wire nut on that white wire, but again, I'm not using the neutral, so the neutral isn't going to be used. I had also hooked up the ground. There's a green screw in here. I already hooked up the ground wire. But for those 2 hots, again, they're exactly the same. It's going to be a hot. So it doesn't matter if you flip those around, you just got to make sure that there's 2 hots coming to this thermostat. Now that thermostat now has the hot coming to it first, so it can start adjusting how much heat or electric it's going to be putting through your baseboard. So that's why it has to go through the thermostat first. And now we're just going to hook up the baseboard to the thermostat. It doesn't look like it really matters which way this goes either. It's just saying to connect those. So I'm going to go ahead and connect one with one. And again, it doesn't matter. Vice versa, they just need to be hooked up. When I was laying carpet earlier, while I'm wearing this, it's because I'm getting blood on stuff that I'm working with. So I decided to wrap it to keep myself from bleeding. And just put all the wires back in there. Screw, looks like it got put way over there. Put your screw in. And that's it, guys. All right, so I'm also going to read the instructions to see, make sure you guys are understanding this. So we're right here on A. I did this secondly in my thing. So it says connect the 2 black thermostat wires to the 2 loose heater wires. So on the thermostat, those 2 black side, so it'll be A and A here. you're just going to hook it to those 2 thermostat wires that you had cut. B, it says connect the 2 hot supply wires to the 2 red thermostat wires. That's what I did first when I hooked up my red hot wire to a thermostat wire and my black hot wire to a thermostat wire. Again, you may have it as a white. Looks like that's what they're having on here as well. So they're just using 12-2 wiring here. Wrap supply white wire with black tape to identify it as a hot. So that's all they're doing there, is they're taking the black electrical tape and they're wrapping it around that white wire to tell you that it's hot. I go ahead and use 12-3 to make sure I have that wiring in the box the way I want it. And it says tuck all the wires back into the individual wiring compartments and make sure the connections are tight. Attach the small screw at the bottom. So if you guys were watching, that's exactly what I did. So it's really pretty step forward. I'm also hooking up one in this room. My wire comes out right here and it goes up through the wall and it's coming out right here. I'm still going to get another double pole 20 amp. So I have my other ones coming in here onto 20 double pole amps. And this is going to that other room. So it'll be put in with this one. And I'm going to get another one down here for this one to go into. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys show it again in here. I'll get the stuff ready in here. Alright, got it out of the box. And I'm going to start with taking this little plate off. I'm going to go ahead and take this off the back so I can run my wire through it with that connector, wire connector in there. I'm going to run those wires through there. Go back there and screw those down. The connector for the screws on that connector, I need to screw it down so that the wiring is tight. Now it's mounting it, like I said, those little stars on there, you're just going to be drilling a screw through it and getting it to hit a stud. Stud. Now we're gonna go move over here and try to line it up and hit the stud over here. Hit a stud on that one. I'm going to put one right next to it. And I can pull those screws out later. Alright, now for the wiring. What are you doing, Weenie? Huh? Want in the video? Come over here. Come on, say hi. Come over here. Ah, there you go. Say hi, buddy. Again, we're doing the double pole, and I'm just going to go ahead and read it. It says connect the two black thermostat wires to the two loose heater wires. Again, we're doing it on that same side, so this one is not the one we're going to cut. It's going to be this one that we're going to cut. I'm going to go ahead and cut those. And on this side, one of these will be going through a black thing, and then the other one will be going through this white tube thing. I'll pull you guys in here real close and see, let you guys see what I'm talking about. I can flip that. So down in here you can see one of those is going to this black thing, and then another one is going to this white thing. So those are the two that you're going to be cutting. The other ones are just running across the baseboard. Back up in here. Strip those two the ones that we're hooking up. I'm going to strip the coating, wire coating off of it. So those go to this black side. So I got my wire nuts. Again, it doesn't matter which one you hook it up to. So wire those ones that you just cut to the black thermostat wire. That's what it's saying for part A. Get those as tight as you can on there. Now we're going to connect the two hot supply wires to the two red thermostat wires. So pretty much taking these to your two hots. Again, mine hots are black and red. If yours don't have a red, your white's going to be a hot. And again, you want to make sure that you remember that's a hot. So, go ahead and wire those two up. Go get a connector, because I still put a connector on my ground, or neutral wire. Then I put a wire nut on my neutral that I'm not using. Now we gotta hook up this ground. Again, there's a green screw down in there. Just gotta take your ground wire over to it and wrap it around it. Alright, got the ground hooked up. Now all the wiring is hooked up. You just gotta shove it all back in there. That'll be the last step. I'll go ahead and read it. It says, okay, it did say wrap supply white wire with black tape. Again, I'm not using it, but if you are, they're saying to wrap it with black tape, just so you'll remember that it's hot. Now it says tuck all the wires back into the individual wiring compartment and make sure the connections are tight, attached with small screw at bottom. So they're making sure all these wire nuts are all tight. Stuff it all back in there. That screw back. And that's it. Again, where your wiring is going to go, I'll go ahead and show you that. I'm doing the double pole. So, double pole, like right here, you're going to have, I'm going to have a red and a black going to one side. You're going to have, if you're doing it just with a black and white wire, you're going to have one white and one black. And that's how it's going to be hooked up. So double pole 20 and you hook it straight up. Okay, I've had a lot of questions on how to run the wiring. I'm going to show you. I had it where the wall's all the way down, so I just drill all my holes through and do it. This is another way, but it's probably the hardest. You're going to have to cut your drywall. So you're going to be cutting the slip all the way to your panel. That's going to be a lot of work, and then you're going to have to cut through all the studs and run your wiring, and then you're going to have to do all that mudding and clean up. If you have a basement, you can just cut through the floor and run it under your basement, and I'll show you another way that I've seen it done as well. Running it outside of the house, so you don't have to deal with the inside with the drywall and all that, and running it through 2x4s in the wall and having all that problems. By far, this is the most way I've seen people run that wiring outside. So there's a baseboard heater here, and then wire ran across. And another baseboard underneath that window. On this apartment, they had it ran like that. I have one unit left. I've been slowly remodeling them, and when I remodel them, I put that wire on the inside of the walls. So you can see that it was up on that building as well. I've also seen some people pull this out and run it in long up in there, crossed it, but I think they run into issues when they have to go over doorways or around windows, because now you can't really run it there. But I've seen some people, they have it in certain areas that they can run it. They run it right up under that lip of the siding. But by far the most is just putting in piping and running it outside. And then you can also paint that the same color of the house if you want it to match up.
Also, check out your local hardware store. They also have some things that you can stick on the inside and mount it to your wall with screws, and then the wire runs inside of it. So go in and check that out and see what options they have available as well.